I love that you provide handsome gentlemen to help us up the stairs. It really is the power of women. Ah, dear, dear, dear. Hello. So, I'm so sorry to objectify you like that. That was actually very rude. I'm sorry. Dear. It's tough, isn't it? Look, it's tempting to start a speech about Carey Mulligan with the important stuff. Her inspirational haircut. You know, that bob. Her ability to really pull off a pair of unflattering jeans. Or perhaps we lead with her unbelievable work as an actor, which has been variously described as transcendent, haunting, masterful, ferocious, and perhaps most regularly, some dumb fucking feminist bullshit. Carey's a truly gifted artist. Her range is limitless. This month alone brings us her devastating portrayal of Felicia Bernstein in Maestro, as well as a savagely funny performance as the doomed poor dear Pamela in what some are calling the greatest masterpiece of our time, Saltburn. Our second film together. But we're here today to celebrate the work that she does behind the scenes as an activist and philanthropist for the incredible charity War Child. War Child reaches the children who suffer most in conflict, girls and boys who have lost parents, who have been raped or abused, who've been recruited as children into armed groups. And it's a charity which 10 years ago, Carey heard about from her brother and went unsolicited straight to their office to ask if there was anything she could do. These are the words of Rob Williams, War Child's incredible CEO, who's sitting here now. We had no idea the kind of difference that Carey could make. War Child was a small organization. We were doing amazing things, providing life-saving help to children and carers, but our fundraising needed a lot of work. Carey persuaded us that she could raise money through an annual dinner called the Waysale, that she now hosts every year with her husband, Marcus. In its first year, the dinner increased our general funds by 25% overnight. In the 10 years since we met Carey, she's helped us to bring life-saving help to over 1.6 million children, at least 1 million more than we could have reached without her help. Rob goes on to say, we call Carey a global ambassador, but the truth is that she is the co-creator of what War Child is today. When Russia invaded the Ukraine, Carey was the first person I called. Within 2 weeks, she'd helped us raise over $1 million to fund our initial response. A few months later, she was with us in the Ukraine. But that is Carey. Her work with War Child has been tireless, practical, consistent, and has made a real, tangible difference to the lives of some of the most vulnerable children in the world. And as with everything she does in her life, from being a mother, an actor, a friend, it is done with no expectation of reward, no fanfare, no fuss, just a real desire to make a difference. And what a difference she has made to so many. Please welcome to the stage the most wonderful person, Carey Mulligan.
So nice, that made me quite emotional. Thank you, Em. Emerald knew I was quite nervous about speaking in this very prestigious, auspicious room, so she texted me earlier saying, you know, good luck, I'm here, I'm rooting for you, I'm going to be with you. And I said, oh, thanks, mate. And then she sent me a picture of her outfit, and she said, too much tit for charity talk? And I think we can all agree not too much tit for charity talk, which is the perfect amount. So thank you for that. I really am very excited and grateful to be here to talk about War Child, because I think it's a charity that maybe some of you don't know about. So I'm here to talk about War Child UK and Children in Conflict, which is the American wing of War Child. Firstly, because they do the most extraordinary work helping, protecting and educating children in some of the most dangerous conflicts in the world. And secondly, because their work has never been more necessary or important than right now. We talk a lot about mental health in 2023, which I think is amazing and important. And as a parent of 3 children, 2 of whom are in school, I think a lot about their mental health. And I think about how I can protect them from anything that might tarnish their sunny childhood. I think, what if my little boy goes on a play date and there's a kid that plays a really violent video game and he sees stuff on the video game? Or what if my daughter Evie goes to someone's house and they've got a phone and they're scrolling on TikTok and they see something inappropriate? That kind of stuff worries me, and I think it worries, lots of parents. So imagine then the worries of a mother in a conflict zone. Her worries might be something more like this. What if my child sees a family member shot? What if my child's best friend is killed in an airstrike? What if my home is destroyed and we need to flee to a refugee camp? What if my child is kidnapped? These aren't hypothetical. I know this because I've met countless parents in Ukraine, in Iraq, in Jordan, and on the Syrian border, and in the Democratic Republic of Congo, who have to consider these questions. They're questions that parents are asking themselves tonight, right now, as we sit here. So this is why War Child exists. They are leaders in the field of psychosocial support and trauma counselling for these children, and their staff quite literally put their lives on the line every day to provide protection, education, and support for children who, through no fault of their own, have found themselves in a parent's worst nightmare. I've been privileged to be in the room when I've seen a traumatized child, engaging with a War Child team member and just seen the light come on in their eyes for the first time. And it's something you can't put value on. So I've talked to my children, who are 6 and 8, a lot about War Child, and they know Rob Williams, who's our incredible CEO, very well. And everyone wants to impress Rob because he's the coolest. And just got back from negotiating with the Taliban, which is pretty cool. So I talk a lot about Rob, and I talk a lot about War Child, and I talk about what they do, and that we fundraise, and so they've started fundraising, which is very sweet. I think there's a sort of something very simple to children. You don't need to explain to a child why it's unjust that some children have a different life to them. They just think everyone should be the same. So Evie will say, well, why do girls not get to go to school in Afghanistan? That's crazy. And my son will say, well, why are there children hiding under the ground in the Ukraine? That must be horrible. That must be so scary. And it doesn't make sense to them, and it really shouldn't make sense to any of us. So Evie, my daughter, recently on holiday, we were in a house where there was sort of street traffic outside, so she thought, great opportunity to make some money. So she thinks she's a little ambassador. So she put together a stall, and they made perfume, which was grass, dishwasher tablets, and some sort of salad dressing. And my son was selling rocks, just rocks from the garden. And anyway, so somehow they managed to sell this perfume and rocks, and they made £90 and 40 pence, which was, I know, surprising. But it was amazing. They were so excited. So I said, let's make a video and tell Rob. And so we made a video for Rob, and Evie said, we made £90 and 40 pence, but the 40 pence doesn't really count because, it's 40 pence. And Rob sent a video back, and he said, congratulations, that's amazing. You must be very good fundraisers. And the 40 pence actually does really count, because in Afghanistan, 40 pence is enough to buy a kilo of rice, which will feed a family for 3 days. And she was completely floored, and she ran outside and she redoubled her efforts, and it made me want to redouble my efforts. And it reminded me that everyone, all of us here tonight, have the ability to impact the life of a child who needs our support. And I'm absolutely certain that this beautiful, vital, awe-inspiring charity that I'm so privileged to represent will make very good use of that 40 pence. So thank you for giving us a platform to talk about this work, and have a lovely evening.